You're here. I've been waiting for you for so long. So long. So long.
Aren't you sorry for letting them go?
What are you talking about? Why would I be sorry?
I'm talking about that Seer. You actually want to study their inner workings, right?
Hey, I don't. I already examined Seer, and based on biological characteristics alone, there's no doubt the Seer is as human as us. As for deeper differences, they can't be studied simply through dissection. I don't want to ruin such a precious specimen. Cosmos is truly amazing to have found such an intriguing toy. It surpasses my imagination. I'll shower him with praise next time I see him.
Yeah, I've been telling you for a while that your seemingly mediocre apprentice is anything but ordinary.
Are you leaving too?
You are Enki's apprentice. How interesting. I can't see your answer. Perhaps you'll reach greater heights than Enki in the future.
I'm flattered. Master Enki is a true genius, while I'm just an ordinary person who is lucky to have made it this far.
Not many admit their mediocrity.
I don't think mediocrity is a derogatory term. A genius is like a lone bird, rejecting everything and having no place to rest. While mediocrity is like a tortoise, knowing its limits and moving towards a single goal. Eventually, the tortoise reaches greater heights.
A mediocrity with sharp words. What a shame that Enki hasn't seen your true nature. You've hidden your brilliance well.
beautiful eyes. I believe they will reflect even more valuable things in the future. May your journey ahead be filled with endless surprises and magnificence.
But then again, do you think they'll eventually fall into a tragic loop just like Oedipus?
Yes, they will. Otherwise, they wouldn't have met us.
That's true. All we can do is wish them good luck.
Well, that's not something we should be worried about.
Yeah, you're right. But you know, it's not just Cosmos who's interesting. There's also that girl.
The girl who has found the Tome of Ages? What path will she choose? I'm curious, Enki.
Did you see the answer?
Yeah, I did. But I don't know the process, as always. I don't know why, but this time, I have a feeling that maybe the process is more important than the answer itself.
It's just they haven't realized it yet.
Should we warn them?
No, only the unknown brings anticipation. I don't want to spoil the fun.
Mischievous, aren't you?
Whatever you say. By the way, now that you've realized that the process is more important than the answer, don't come up with such a boring plan next time, silly sis. I haven't reached the end of my journey yet. I don't want to start preparing for an exit plan in the middle of a game and have to start over again. You're just too predictable. Even if you don't tell me the answer, I can figure it out.
Remember, I've watched you both grow up. I can tell when something's up, even if you're trying to hide it.
Enki, there's nothing waiting for us at the end of this journey. We won't reach the end, find any answers, or be able to turn back.
So what?
Don't go. No matter how hard we struggle, we are bound by our limited lifespan. As long as we are limited by our mortal bodies, we'll never reach the end. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't leave me behind.
What are you waiting for? Let's go! Can't you, for once, consider your true desires, silly sis? Out of everyone here, you're the one who wants to see the end the most, right? She won! wasn't sad at all, silly Nana. It was all an act. She doesn't get sad.
Yes. Let's go.
Here you are. No need to ask. As I told you before, when you depart, all memories of this realm will fade, including me. That girl is quite perceptive, so this time, I've blocked her presence. Don't divulge too much to her, and don't place too much trust in her at this moment. Even if everything is predetermined, I don't want any harm to befall you. Come. Your journey awaits, filled with challenges and perils. Fear not. I'll forever protect you. I know where you're headed. It's the origin of all casual ties. I've adjusted your coordinates. Now you're free to embark whenever you choose. I rarely engage in joint operations with others.
It's time to compose a new piece.
Execute.
Fluttering wings.
Ignorance.
Fluttering wings. Fluttering wings.
Wait! We can make good use of this large gear.
Full. Ansu. End it all.
Fluttering wings.
Full. It's okay. I'm still alive.
Fluttering wings.
Judgment. Bow before the sun's brilliance! Utterly rebellious.
A spark of inspiration.
Full. Ansu. End it all. Is it?
Condemnation. Law shattered.
It's time to weigh the results against the costs. Meticulous calculations beforehand naturally lead to victory.
Father, I have arrived.
Just in time, Rubicon. Look at the water lilies in the pond. They were brought here from Memphis. This is a tribute from the governor of Memphis Province. The lilies were plucked 20 days ago from the banks of the Memphis River, delicately immersed in jars filled with fresh water, transported on a ship across the Philistine Sea, and swiftly brought to Javriel. Today marks the onset of the flowering season. It would be a waste to enjoy these flowers alone, so I invited you to accompany me. I have also extended invitations to others. General Sarvis resides nearby in his mansion, and he should be joining us shortly. Are you acquainted with him?
Yes, I know him. Sarvis is a valiant general.
Knowing him is not enough, Rubicon. As my heir, you must remain well informed about all the developments in Javriel. Sarvis was recently promoted to the rank of youngest senator. It is imperative that you maintain a close relationship with him in the times to come.
Understood, Father. I shall pay him a visit later.
Well, that won't be necessary. He's already arrived.
Your Majesty.
Rise, Sarvis. Now, we await the arrival of High Priest Mirari. Sarvis, you have accomplished remarkable military triumphs on my behalf. I had promised that on the day of your senatorial promotion, you may select any city within my empire as your fiefdom, excluding Javriel. Have you made your decision?
By the grace of your Majesty.
Let's skip the formalities of the Senate. Choose your city, and I shall grant it to you. Leave the pleasantries and bureaucratic matters to others.
I desire a land as warm and inviting as your Majesty's garden.
While numerous warm lands lie within my dominion, only one city possesses a garden-like charm. Your discernment is commendable, for you have chosen a place even I find difficult to part with. Very well. Bellefontaine shall be yours. Tend to her with care, for she is a unique and precious flower, even amidst my vast garden. Ah, here comes the High Priest as well.
Greatness be upon you, my lord. May your reign endure as long as the Tiberius River flows through the Eternal City.
Indeed, at my age, divine favor is required to sustain my rule over this nation for much longer.
Worry not, Father. Your radiance shines as brightly as the sun that illuminates the entirety of Japheth.
You've picked up the rhetoric of those eloquent orators, Rubicon. But have you ever seen a day when the sun does not set?
I mean no disrespect, Father.
I know you do not. While your words are flattering, I believe I truly merit such praise. I no longer require badges, scepters, or crowns to demonstrate my power. Nor do my accomplishments necessitate statues, poems, or triumphal arches to extol their glory anymore. The Senate recently bestowed upon me the title of the Sacred One. I wonder, on the day of my departure, whether the artisans will find a monument vast enough to inscribe all my titles. Frequently, I have wondered what further achievements I can attain during my remaining time. My generals have conquered the entire civilized world known to us, and the remaining lands are either too remote or too desolate. My empire has transformed the Philistine Sea into an inland lake. In this regard, I've surpassed all previous emperors in history. When I inherited Javriel, it was constructed of bricks, and when I pass it on to you, Rubicon, my beloved son,
It shall be a grand, eternal city. You mentioned the sun earlier, which brings something to mind. The governor of Memphis province sent me a letter along with the flowers. In his letter, he mentioned an ancient legend cherished by the people of Memphis, asserting that their god of the sun was captured by conquerors from the east. According to them, the conquerors hailed from a realm known as the Arsacid Empire. Have you ever heard of that place?
To the best of my knowledge, the Arsacid Empire lies far to the east of our domain, inhabited by different people with a distinct culture. This region is situated near another sea.
The Memphian legend concerning the god of the sun appears to lack veracity. It is merely a deity concocted by simplistic individuals for their own peace of mind.
I understand your piety, Mirari. However, there have been countless gods worshipped in the lands conquered by Japheth. Since the native people believe in those gods, it implies that those gods have favored them, and we Japhethians won't interfere with their beliefs. With that said, it is surprising to hear claims that gods walk the earth as tangible beings that can be captured like treasures. Now, I find that interesting. Rubicon, Sarvis, and Mirari, go to the Arsacid Empire and see it for me. If the god of the sun is truly there, bring it back to my throne. Only Javriel deserves an everlasting son.
Father, what should we do to the kings and lands of the Arsacid Empire?
I desire the sun only. If they decline my request, destroy them all. And if they willingly relinquish it, you may decide their fate. Well, I have spent too much time discussing a tiny piece of land. Let us enjoy these splendid water lilies before the sun sets.
Finally. This is the fabled tower that reaches the heavens.
Back in Javriel, I heard tales of it. The tales spoke of how the ancient people aspired to reach the heavens, and thus the tower was constructed. When its foundations were laid, the land was still known by its original name, Obed. I always believed it to be nothing more than fiction. I never imagined that the descendants of Obed continued to build upon it. The dreams of mankind are truly remarkable.
From the way you spoke just now, one would think that we didn't emerge victorious in our great conquest, General Sarvis.
High Priest, I am sure you can sense that even as conquerors, our splendor of victory pales in comparison to this tower. We are facing something that cannot be conquered by force and will never bow to humans.
You speak the truth. It is not only blood and sword that invoke awe. It is the achievements built upon intangible foundations that endure.
Today, for the first time, the Japhethians bear witness to this marvel, and poets will compose new songs to commemorate this event.
This is our shared feat. Together, our names will be engraved on the next arch of triumph in Javriel.
But before your triumph, Your Highness, we have much to accomplish. What shall we do with the subjects of the Arsacid Empire?
They have surrendered, so I have ordered our troops to cease fighting and rest.
However, if the Arsacid Empire dares to resist, His Majesty's decree is to destroy it.
Father is the sun, and naturally, he does not concern himself with the insects scorched by his blazing light. But the people here are far away from Japheth. It is not their fault they are unaware of His Majesty's mighty name.
I understand your point, Your Highness. It has been said that we Japhethians are like a melting pot,
There are 2 points behind that statement. First, we open our hearts and minds to all who are willing to submit. Second, if anyone is as stubborn as copper and iron, we will melt them with our fire until they become part of Japheth. Force and fear have been the best tools your father has employed for decades. Through them, the fire of Japheth's heart burns brighter and brighter. I agree that those methods are hardly the most effective. If your highness allows, I will find gentler ways to integrate the Arsacid Empire into our fold. If we can make the soldiers abandon their weapons for good, they will no longer pose a threat to us, and we will not need to shed their blood.
The High Priest makes a valid point. This approach would spare the lives of those people without contradicting my father's will. What do you think, Sarvis?
Well, I am just a general, and I focus on military affairs only. I will leave the decision on other matters to you and the High Priest.
Ah, Sarvis. It is evident that your knowledge and eloquence surpass those of your colleagues in the Senate. Yet, you humbly refer to yourself as just a general. I'll take that as a yes. High Priest, I hereby grant you the authority to handle the people of the Arsacid Empire at your discretion.
As you wish, Your Highness.
Now, it is time to claim the ultimate rewards for our arduous journey.
According to the historical accounts of the Arsacid Empire, it was the Emperor Darius who brought the god of the sun from Memphis to Obed 5 centuries ago. Darius once established the greatest empire in Obed. He made Memphis his province long before Japheth came into power.
If this realm were still under his rule, I might have respectfully approached their gates and dispatched a messenger to request an audience. A man who desires to possess the sun must be as ambitious as my father.
The Tower of Babel. That's the one thing in the world, besides the stars, deserving of my upward gaze. It's only fitting that the most glorious trophy should be placed in the highest place of my kingdom. I'm now entrusting it to you, Hemion.
What is this, Your Majesty?
A good question, and one that I would like to ask you, too. I have heard tales that beneath the majestic waterfalls of the Memphis River lies the dormant, ancient god of the sun. It once destroyed the capital of an ancient pharaoh and then sank into the river. So I conquered the land of that pharaoh and ordered countless individuals to dive into the waters, leaving no stone unturned. But the outcome was a great disappointment. The so-called god of the sun was no more than a copper sphere. While it's well crafted, the artisans of Obed could have created a work of art 10 times more intricate than that. I ordered my people to smash it on the spot. However, even the mightiest warriors of my immortal army could not destroy it. No weapon could even scratch its surface. I had craftsmen construct colossal pyres and burn it for 10 days, yet its shell remained unaltered. Finally, I instructed my warriors to transport it to the highest peak in Memphis and cast it off the cliffs. But it was the unyielding stones below that shattered, not the copper sphere. Since long ago, you have collected many extraordinary artifacts in this tower, and you have recruited numerous scholars from my land. I have never impeded or doubted your endeavors. But now, I am asking for a small favor in return. Unravel the mystery surrounding this sphere, and the reason why the Memphians revere it as the god of the sun. And find out the secret to its immortality.
The letters used in the Arsacid Empire. It was one of the dynasties that existed in Obed about 2,000 years before our time. The dynasty lasted for centuries, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly where we are within that period.
Did you just bring us to some random point in time? So, our new director is actually smarter than we thought. But do you understand what the text says?
This is a legal document about the sale of grain and a deed to a farm. While it provides concrete information, it doesn't help us determine the exact time.
You're as reliable as ever. No wonder that old man wanted to make you the next director. Why did you throw them at me?
You can read them too, can't you?
Let's see what the heck we have here. Basic math, ledgers, lists of engineers, tax collection records, and tribute lists. All useless information. Wait. I found something, Zero.
This is a record written by the court scribe of the 5th Emperor. He was an unremarkable emperor in the history of Obed, and not well known. Throughout its long history, Obed has been the center of powerful empires at times, and has fallen under the control of other empires at other times. The 5th Emperor's reign belonged to the latter category. During that time, the Japheth Empire in the west, ruled by Emperor Thurinus, was at its peak. Thurinus's armies extended to the farthest reaches of the known world in all directions. In the east, they reached the Arsacid Empire. During his reign, Thurinus sent an expedition army led by his son Rubicon, the High Priest Marari, and General Savis to Obed. However, the expedition didn't result in Obed becoming a new province of Japheth, as was the case with other areas during that era. The reason for the truce remains a mystery, as no records or treaties were passed down through history. However, the Tower of Babel remained under its existing ownership during that war. Amaon, throughout different generations, protected it during all the crises and incidents, ensuring the library's safety and preservation.
That's a nice way of saying sitting on the fence. The knowledge stored in the tower is incredibly valuable, so no one would want to destroy it, right? Besides, those old chumps did have their talents, as long as they were willing to cooperate. No emperor in his right mind would give them a hard time. As much as it pains me to admit it, your ability is quite remarkable.
If I remember correctly, this is the second time you've asked me a question like this. My answer is still the same. But, since this is your second question, I think it's best to give you more information. Arishan is the daughter of the previous director. Before my arrival, Cosmos planned to appoint her as the next director. Yes. Similarly, before your arrival, I was supposed to become the next director. My duty is to safeguard this tower and the Library of Babel. And naturally, that includes you as the current director.
What are you two whispering about back there? Hurry up and follow me. What a rudimentary ancient device. This is such a mess. It's like a battle just took place here.
Maybe that's exactly what happened. According to historical records, this is the time when the war between Obed and Japheth erupted. We might have arrived at a point. The main path ends here. Let's check out what's below. It used to be a throne indeed. The history of the Library of Babel and Amaon is far older than the fleeting thrones of this land. Thrones may rise and fall, yet the tower stands firm. True Amaons must adapt to the shifting of power and serve the reigning monarchs. But that does not mean we owe them our allegiance.
However, during the eras when the Tower of Babel wasn't forgotten, almost every monarch took pride in conquering it. The throne within the tower was a testament to their conquest. With the library's opening, the primordial sector housing the throne became a prominent landmark. Anyway, since we don't have a specific goal, why don't we head in that direction? Perhaps we'll stumble upon unexpected treasures. Who's there?
Wait. You are...
You're Outlanders. No, wait. The symbols on your clothes.
Zero, you explain it to him.
So, you're travelers from the future. That's truly incredible. Since you're from the future, your clothes must also be from the future. No wonder I can't place their origin. The Library of Babel is truly full of wonders.
Could you tell us which era we are in?
Since you're from the future, you probably already know that the current ruler of Obed, the 5th Emperor, is a disappointment.
Yeah, and we know that the Arsacid Empire was at war with the Japheth Empire. Has the war ended?
The war has ended. Despite Tharinius being advanced in years, he didn't underestimate his enemy, and prepared enough troops for a full-scale war. Unfortunately, he overestimated his opponent. The 5th Emperor couldn't manage a single clash on the battlefield. As soon as he found out that Japheth only wanted a specific item from the Tower of Babel, he backed down immediately.
Huh. You don't seem to have a high opinion of your Emperor. Is it acceptable for a subject to say such things?
Emperor. He's far from deserving that title.
You mentioned that Japheth only wanted a specific item from the tower. What is it?
I've heard that Rubicon's ultimatum mentioned Memphis's god of the sun. I've seen it a few times, but it's disappointing. It's just a huge metal ball that doesn't seem to have any connection to the sun other than its shape. I heard it was a trophy captured by Obed's past monarch, Emperor Darius, after conquering Memphis. The item was sent away by Rubicon a few days ago, and it should be close to the Ephrathoth on the coast of the Philistine Sea by now. Then it will be loaded onto a ship and sent to Javriel.
Looks like we're too late.
No, not yet. 2,000 years ago, Ephrathah by the Philistine Sea witnessed the final glimmer of Arten.
Ephrathah by the Philistine Sea? Hold on.
The Star of Ephrathah.
History sure loves to play tricks on us. So, you don't know how to control that copper sphere either.
No, we don't. Honestly, we wouldn't even know it's something that can be activated if you hadn't mentioned it. But since those Japhethians are so desperate to get their hands on it, they might have some knowledge about it. Interestingly, Prince Rubicon and his Praetorians are currently stuck in the library.
What did you just say?
Rubicon didn't leave after obtaining that god of the sun. He learned about us in the Library of Babel from the 5th Emperor. Rubicon considered the library a treasure far more valuable than that copper sphere, so he took his soldiers inside the Tower of Babel. It happened to coincide with the opening of the library, so I'm not sure if we should call it lucky or unlucky.
So, you mean we can find him inside the Library of Babel?
Exactly. Unfortunately, I won't be able to accompany you for the rest of your journey. I need to find my companions as soon as possible.
That's all right. Thank you for all the information.
May the library be with you. Emion from the future.
Now we know exactly what to do next. Hopefully, we'll find something this time. Since the Japhethians are after that copper sphere, they must have heard something about it, right?
Oh, it was an anomaly that appeared in Ephrathah, near the western shore of the Philistine Sea, around 2000 BC. According to historical records, a solitary star of unparalleled splendor emerged in the night sky above Ephrathah. Unlike other stars, it remained fixed over Ephrathah. The star was visible along the entire coast of the Philistine Sea, but it vanished shortly after its appearance, and hasn't been recorded in any astronomical observations since. Naturally, some might consider it a collective illusion, but for us Emeons, it was an undeniable anomaly. Since there were no Emeons in Ephrathah at that time, the truth behind this incident has remained a mystery for thousands of years. Until just now. Considering the time and location, it's safe to say that the Star of Ephrathah is Aten, which the Japhethian transported from the Alsacid Empire. Although it lasted only for a brief period, it did ascend back into the sky, emanating radiance and brilliance. The only question is this: who in this era discovered the command to activate it?
Ugh, not even budging. I should have known not to expect anything from this old junk.
Interesting fellow.
These are traces.
It seems like they're not far ahead. Let's hope we can still reason with those Japhethians in the tower.
Interesting fellow. Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
Huh. Seems like those unwanted Japhethians are having some trouble too. So, if we lend them a hand now, they'll be more cooperative, right?
Interesting fellow.
The situation has changed.
Ignorance. Judgment. Judgment. Chains bind only the sinners.
Are you Emaons? Our general is looking for you.
Why bother being polite with these wicked sorcerers? We wouldn't be trapped in this never-ending labyrinth if it weren't for them.
General ordered us to treat Emaons with proper etiquette.
Well, let's skip the pleasantries. To be honest, we're looking for your commander, too. And you should already know that none of you will make it in this maze without us.
Are you threatening us?
Silence! I apologize. Our general is nearby, but this place is dangerous. Please allow us to clear a path ahead for you.
Despite all their fancy talks, they need our help in the end.
Bow before the sun's brilliance!
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
Thank you for coming to our aid once again.
No need to thank us. You mentioned your general is close, so I wonder where we can find His Royal Highness.
You filthy scum! How dare you ask about His Majesty's whereabouts?
His Majesty showed great sincerity by bringing only dozens of Praetorians into this tower, as per your request. But you set your vile trap and scattered us.
Oh, I get it. You guys got separated.
You...
Please, Ere, stop.
Our general is just up there, not too far away. Please, head in that direction.
Oh? You're just in time. Although we haven't met, judging by the patterns on your garments, I assume you are Emeons, the caretakers of this ancient tower, correct? The vastness of this world is truly beyond mortal imagination. When I first heard about the Library of Babel, I dismissed it as mere ramblings of the common folk. Turns out this marvel really exists. I'm sure the Japhethian poets will compose 1,000 new epics about it. Allow me to express my sincere admiration. However, as you can see, we are lost inside this tower. Could you show us the way out?
Watch your tongue. A commoner like you has no right.
It's all right. They're the hosts here. It's only natural for them to ask the name of their guests. I am Sarvis, a senator of Japheth and a general serving Prince Rubicon. Lord Thuranos is a benevolent emperor who welcomes scholars from all corners of the world. We will be returning in a few days, and if you are interested in joining us, I can take you back to Javriel. But of course, that's on the condition that you lead us out of this fantastic labyrinth.
I've heard that Rubicon's ultimatum mentioned Memphis's god of the sun.
Until just now. Considering the time and location, it's safe to say that the Star of Ephrathah is Aten, which the Japhethian transported from the Arsacid Empire.
Atem, you mean the ancient god of the sun in Memphis? We've traveled all the way here to retrieve it. Do you have a problem with that? During our journey, my men gathered many records about Aten, and I've heard about your research on the god of the sun. But there's nothing I can do, as His Majesty has decreed that if there is a sun on Earth, it shall only rise above the eternal city and shine down upon his throne. As for the Emperor of Arsacid, well, I don't think his lousy chair deserves such high honor. Obed witnessed the rise of its first sun-wielding monarch, Darius. It's such a shame that his successor would fall so far.
Since you've come here for Aten, you must know how to harness it, right?
What do you mean by harnessing it? Are you suggesting it's a living being that can be controlled?
Yeah. With the right commands, you can order it to do anything you want. Wait, you didn't know that?
Commands? So that metal ball understands commands. Bloat, Ephrathah, deactivate? I'm utterly puzzled by what you're saying. I've heard that Emeon means mouthpieces of the gods in ancient languages. It is said that your task is to listen to prayers and provide answers, not ask questions. If you have forgotten your duties after all these years, I don't mind reminding you. Or are you trying to buy time? Are you using this labyrinth to separate us from Prince Rubicon and now asking questions to stall for time? I also hope this is a misunderstanding, but your words and actions lack sincerity. If you want to clear up this misunderstanding, please lead us out of this labyrinth. What a shame. It seems you're intentionally delaying my return to His Highness. We have traveled all the way here, but failed to find worthy opponents. And my soldiers are eager for a proper fight. Now I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to fulfill their wish. Show us your legendary skills, Emeons. Take them down! Looks like you've had some professional combat training. Praiseworthy, but your coordination was a total You might be good in gladiator battles against beasts, but when it comes to my battle-hardened legion, you're as vulnerable as a kitten before a lion. Phalanx formation, soldiers! Don't underestimate our foe!
General, monsters are swarming in.
Hold the line! Maintain formation! Wipe out all those monsters and capture those Emeons alive!
What are you waiting for, Master Director? Do you seriously think we can defeat the mighty Japheth Phalanx at the peak of their power? Just activate your amazing time machine and make a quick escape. Anywhere will do. Just stop with the questions and do something. Just go to the future, like a month later. Let's get away from them. Getting a bit boring. Is your time travel ability malfunctioning or what? Are you sure you've sent us a month ahead?
Please stand down.
Dear Emeon, I bear no ill intentions. Have you forgotten our agreement? Thanks, Emeons. You truly are the mouthpieces of the gods. Following the divine words you delivered, we managed to appease the wrath of the god of the sun It is you who have saved the world from destruction and allowed us to witness the true sun once more. The people of Japheth, the Arzacid Empire, and all other regions should be grateful for the news you brought.
What are you even talking about?
I apologize for my excessive enthusiasm. This is the note you asked me to write down. I'm grateful, Your Highness. If it weren't for your intervention, I might have been lost in that labyrinth forever.
Don't mention it. High Priest Mirari insisted on bringing the Emians along, and it turned out to be a wise decision. Otherwise, we would have been trapped on that endless stairway forever.
Speaking of Emians, I encountered a few of them in the tower, and they were dressed in a peculiar fashion. They mentioned something beyond my comprehension. According to them, the copper sphere we transported back to Japheth appears to be a living entity or a device that can be activated through specific commands. They also claimed that the ancient god of the sun in Memphis would rise again over Ephrathah, and they held us responsible for this occurrence.
Where are those Emians now?
I apologize, Your Highness. I had intended to capture them alive and gather more information. Although they were skilled fighters, their lack of coordination made them vulnerable, and we could have easily defeated them. However, just as my soldiers closed in on them, they vanished into thin air. At first I thought it was an illusion, but the marks left on my soldiers' weapons and armor are undeniably real.
Sarvis, after witnessing numerous miracles in the library, are you still amazed by such minor happenings? I won't be surprised by anything that happens within those infinite rooms. It astonishes me that Obed possesses such a treasure. If the claims of those Emians are true, the Library of Babel contains answers to all questions in the world. Regardless, that copper sphere, even if it is connected to the sun, doesn't matter anymore. The sun rises every day, but it doesn't provide answers to humanity's questions about the world.
Speaking of which, How is the negotiation progressing, High Priest?
The clerks have prepared the necessary documents, stating that the Arsacid Empire will become our vassal state in exchange for our protection. Once you add your signature, the contract will be sealed.
There is no need. The treaty is now null and void. Disseminate my orders. Instruct our soldiers to besiege the city. We shall capture Obed, seize the tower, and claim the library for Japheth. The library of the gods. I never realized that such a wondrous place truly existed in this world.
Your Highness?
I understand your perplexity, General. While reneging on our word is dishonorable, let's consider the fact that the Arsacid Empire is corrupt, and its emperor is an imbecile. If they attempt to exploit the power within the tower for nefarious purposes in the future, I believe you comprehend my concerns, Sarvis. Only Japheth possesses the power to safeguard this marvel from the unworthy.
A swift horse is approaching, Your Highness. The rider appears to be a messenger.
Bring him to me.
Greetings, Your Highness.
Rise. From where do you hail? And what tidings do you bring?
Your Highness, you commanded my unit to escort the God of the Sun back to Javriel. Several days ago, we arrived at Ephrathah on the eastern shore of the Philistine Sea, which is under Herod's dominion.
I know. Herod is one of my father's numerous vassals. Did he show any disrespect toward you?
No, quite the contrary. He treated us with great respect and insisted warmly that we stay at his royal court for the night. Then, at midnight, while we were sleeping, we were awakened by a radiant glow outside the palace. We went to investigate, and, to our astonishment, the sun had risen beneath the stars.
Did the wine addle your senses? What nonsense are you talking about?
What I speak is the truth, Your Highness. We witnessed it with our own eyes.
Go on. Tell me what happened.
Well, my servants, the soldiers slumber now. Now it's time for you to fulfill your promise to me. And should you dare to deceive me, your suffering will be 1,000-fold worse than your darkest nightmare.
Your Majesty, every word we speak is true. Our ancestors were once priests of Memphis, serving pharaohs for generations in the distant past. After the kingdom of pharaohs crumbled, we were exiled, but fortunate enough to find shelter in your court. Our deepest secrets are never recorded, but passed down through oral tradition among our closest blood relations. Among them lies the secret of the God of the Sun. During the era of Pharaoh Akhenaten, the priests discovered how to harness the power of the sun, bending it to the pharaoh's will. It is the language of the gods. Merely recite the divine words, and the sun will rise at your command. Through it, you shall attain divinity and achieve immortality, just as the ancient pharaohs did.
Yet you do not hesitate to share such deepest secrets with me.
It's precisely because you are a benevolent and generous ruler. That's why we're willing to reveal these secrets to you. Thurnus is nothing more than a tyrant who has ravaged our lands. If it were not for your generosity, we would all be living as mere livestock now. Your Majesty, I cannot bear to see you continue to bow before that tyrant.
Benevolent? Generous? Such descriptions are rare, but you're correct about one thing. We are both kings, so why should I kneel before that tyrant and allow my country to be reduced to a mere province of Japheth? Very well. Let me see for myself if your claims hold true.
All deeds have consequences. All debts must be paid.
Arise, sun. From this moment onward, even the stars shall pale in comparison to the sun I have awakened!
I take back what I said about our director being an imbecile. Having a time machine at our disposal is actually pretty convenient. Well, it depends on how you interpret what I'm saying. What? Finally done dealing with me? The former #1 director candidate?
The Collected Letters of Obed Royal Family. Volume 3, Darius, the King of All Kings, written by a historian from the Obed court. The second half is blank. Looks like this volume is incomplete. It appears that we have indeed arrived in the era of Darius, around 500 years before the 5th Emperor's reign. That Emaon we encountered mentioned that Darius was the one who first brought Aten from Memphis to Obed. Sarvis also mentioned that Darius was the first ruler of Obed to harness the power of the sun.
I see. The fact that the Japheth soldiers didn't know the command to activate a 10 suggests that it had already been lost by their time. Compared to the era of Japheth, the era of Darius was closer to the era of a 10, which means Darius is more likely to know the command to activate a 10.
Besides, there's something else that concerns me. The giant we just encountered. Actually, we might have encountered it once before. Back in our time, when you entered the Tower of Babel and activated the dormant beacon, we came across something very similar, Seer. Indeed. The giant in our time was missing its lower half, so I can't say for sure if it's the same giant. Moreover, I'm sure you remember the stuff we got from the mutilated giant. According to Master Ninsar, it belonged to Darius. So, it must have come from this era.
Sorry for interrupting your discussion, but that was the first time I saw that huge guy. So that giant has been after you? What did you do to anger it so much?
We didn't do anything.
Dear Emeon, I bear no ill intentions. Have you forgotten our agreement?
We don't have enough information to understand the reason behind it yet.
One moment he wanted to kill us, and the next moment he was happy to see us.
Just to confirm, when we met Sarvis for the second time, it was a month after our first encounter, right?
Did you figure something out, or...? I'm afraid so. Sarvis didn't have a clue about a 10's activation during our first encounter, but in the second encounter, he mentioned that they had somehow appeased the wrath of the god of the sun. So during that month, a 10 must have been reactivated and turned into the star of Ephrathah. Sarvis also said that we delivered divine words and saved the world from destruction. It means that we were the ones who helped deactivate a 10, extinguishing the star of Ephrathah. Remember what Inky said?
Be careful. The prophecy may actualize itself.
Actions taken to prevent tragedy can end up causing it. Now I understand that Sarvis wasn't exaggerating when he said we saved the entire world from destruction. After A10 was reactivated, its power must have kept increasing, just like when it destroyed a Ketaton. Imagine what would happen if a fusion reactor continues to increase its power output without being shut down. We obtained the command and delivered it to Sarvis. However, it wasn't us from the present. Rather, it was us from some point in the future. Because of our time travels, the prophecy actualized itself. Sure.
There is no other choice.
Now we're not just responsible for saving the library in our era, but also saving the world in Sarvis's era.
We must move on and find the command to deactivate R10 and deliver it to Sarvis. If we fail, both eras will veer off their intended paths and collapse completely.
I'm not going to answer that. There are a bunch of geezers in MAON who specialize in time paradoxes. I've never paid attention to their lectures. All I know is that it would be very, very, very bad. Who are those people?
Judging by their attire, they must be the Immortal Army, Darius's Praetorians.
Of course I know that, but why are there so many Immortal Army soldiers wandering inside the library in this era?
Your Majesty, please forgive us. We are devoted to you.
Hey! They can't even hear us. Never mind. Let's keep going. We'll surely find someone we can reason with, right? It's those pesky creatures again. Hey, use your time-stopping ability on them.
Interesting fellow. Interesting fellow.
Condemnation.
hanging there.
Condemnation!
The situation has changed.
This era, it's truly weird.
Obviously, those immortal army soldiers have been wandering around inside the library for quite some time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so worn out.
What exactly happened?
Emperor Darius was the ruler of the ancient Obed Empire 2,500 years before our time. He was one of the most renowned rulers in Obed's history. Unlike the Obed Empire under the 5th Emperor's rule, Obed during Darius's reign was the most powerful empire in the world. Towards the end of his reign, though, Emperor Darius inexplicably shifted his focus away from governing the empire, leading to a rapid decline of Obed. The records about Emaon are not detailed, as their leader Pythagoras mysteriously vanished without a trace one day.
Emaon's historical records are all but blank during this era. There are simply too many coincidences happening in this era. We need to be extra cautious.
The stars. They appear so distant, yet shine so brightly.
Your Majesty, Farhad requests an audience.
It is you, my most courageous servant. How does the wine taste at the celebration?
The wine was exquisite, benefiting the conquerors of Memphis. We all wonder why you didn't join us in the Great Feast of Honor. Why do you remain secluded in this corner, far from the bonfire, without even a single guard? Have we done anything to displease you?
Not at all, Fahad. I am pleased with your valor. After this battle, I've annexed the southern reaches of the world into my domain. I am staying away from the crowds to gaze at the stars. The campfire's brightness would obscure their light. Have you ever considered where our conquest will end, Farhad?
No, Your Majesty. I shall fight wherever you deem necessary. Until the farthest reaches of your dominion touch the sea, or until I fall on the battlefield.
Your loyalty is commendable. But what I'm seeing now is even more distant than the sea. There was an Emian scholar named Pythagoras who told me that according to his research, the land beneath our feet is a sphere.
A sphere? How is that even possible?
You're not a scholar, so it is understandable that you can't imagine it. However, I can easily imagine that there may exist countless such spheres suspended high above the heavens. We call those spheres stars. The notion that these stars are fragments of Earth adrift in the firmament. So many uncharted territories awaiting conquest. Do you understand my feelings, Fahad? In comparison, Memphis, no, even the entirety of Obed, pales in significance. I wonder how I can travel to those stars to conquer those lands no one has ever seen. How pathetic is a man so bound by his desires. From now on, I shall find no peace in my nights.
Fret not, Your Majesty. We, the Immortal Army, will always be your keenest blades. Even if you were to command us to conquer the moon, we would comply without hesitation.
You truly are my favorite servant, Fahad. Arise, for I shall share my glory and dreams with you. One day we'll leave our footprints across the entire expanse of the sky. So, it was but a dream. I'm feeling cold. Am I already so old that I'm plagued by such vivid dreams? I used to believe that only the inept dream, for they possess nothing in reality. Is the heavens telling me that I'm no different from those commoners? My time is running out. Emeons, I'm summoning you to demand an answer I have long awaited. A decade has passed since my triumph in Memphis. I have given you so much time to unravel the mysteries of the God of the Sun. My subjects comply with my commands, never disturbing your research or prying into your tower. Only during the 6th and final month of each year do my emissaries visit you to ask about the progress of your research. You should know that it is a supreme honor, and that I have shown you extraordinary generosity, which no other Obed emperors have ever bestowed upon you. However, my messengers disappointed me every time, as your response of nothing has remained unchanged. Now, I've decided to ask you this question myself. This is your 10th year. Have you learned more about the nature of that copper sphere? What grants it immortality?
Your Majesty, our answer remains the same. You may perceive 10 years as a considerable length of time. For a human life, it is indeed substantial. However, for those devoted to the pursuit of knowledge, it is merely a fleeting moment akin to the evaporation of morning dew. Undoubtedly, that sphere represents a creation that transcends the limits of human understanding. Even if it is not a deity in its own right, its creator must possess divine qualities. We need more time to figure out its true essence.
Time. Time. What an extravagant request. I, too, would grant you more time if I were able. Unfortunately, the time given to me is dwindling. The sand in the hourglass is running out. I am growing old, and my time is slipping away, while the boundless, unconquered worlds still await me. I am asking you once again, Emeon. Do you indeed have nothing to give me in return?
Your Majesty, I hold you in the highest regard, but I must inform you that neither your Majesty nor your power hold sway within the realm of knowledge. Though you may command all on Earth to declare that the sun rises in the west, it will still be the eastern sky that illuminates the next dawn. I can assure you that we're more eager than you to learn the nature of the sphere. It is the calling of the scholar.
I see. You're unable to offer what I seek in exchange for my leniency. I extend my regrets to you, Emeon. Since the beginning of history, this will be the first time the Emperor of Obed resorts to violence against Emeon. If I had a choice, I wouldn't wish to make this decision.
You may rule over this land, Your Majesty. And while you may intimidate those who seek knowledge, the laws governing knowledge itself do not yield to mere might.
Immortal army, at my command, open this tower and seize their library! If this library is as miraculous as the legends proclaim, containing the sum of all worldly knowledge, it must surely hold the secret to immortality and the immortal power of that copper sphere. Since the mouthpieces of the gods remain silent to my request, I'll uncover the answer myself.
We can't prevent you if you're determined to do so, Your Majesty. Permit me, however, to offer a final piece of advice. The gods remain silent due to the folly of humankind.
That was the last question I will ever pose to you. From now on, you are no longer permitted to address me. Immortal army, storm their tower and breach their gates. Emeon, I have heard tales that the paths within the Library of Babel are more numerous than the stars in the sky. I've also heard you've devoted countless time and lives to explore that library, and that you've even familiarized yourself with a number of safe paths. I command you to lead the way for my warriors, and you have no right to refuse.
You're right.
If we can find a reasonable soldier or an Imaon of this era, perhaps they will tell us what has happened here. Let's go. We don't have much time.
Getting a bit boring.
Wait, isn't that the shoddy artifact that wouldn't even start? So is it working now?
Those who offer themselves to His Majesty will be rewarded 100-fold.
The main path is blocked.
In moments like this, it's time to show some innovation. Interesting fellow. Interesting fellow. Interesting fellow. A bit boring.
There are still people over there.
I don't expect to find any living people we can reason with, but let's go check it out anyway.
Please lower your weapons. We mean no harm.
Who are you?
We are Emaons.
My name is Farhad. I can't see you well. I thought you were monsters too. Thank you so much. I didn't expect your help, especially after His Majesty gave that order.
His Majesty? Are you talking about Emperor Darius?
Of course. Were you not there when His Majesty gave the order? His Majesty ordered the Immortal Army to take over the Tower of Babel and the Library of Babel. How long ago was that? 1 year? Or 2 years? I can't remember clearly. This is not a library. It's an endless nightmare. Ever since I got here, I've been praying for the gods to wake me up from this living hell.
Take over? You barged into the library? No wonder. It's actually impressive that you've held on for so long without any preparation. Why did your Emperor send you here to die?
Our mission is to uncover the truth about the god of the sun in Memphis. His Majesty has given the Emaon years, and yet there have been no results. Eventually, he ran out of patience. Personally, I don't have anything against you. We're puzzled too. It's hard to understand why His Majesty, who's always been a profound thinker, would act that way. Emaon, I know it may sound brazen, especially after we barged into your tower, but I'm asking you to take me back to His Majesty. The Immortal Army shall never fail His Majesty.
What a coincidence. We're actually searching for your Emperor as well. How about you join us? With you on our side, he might be more open to hearing us out, don't you think? So, what does your Emperor want to uncover about the God of the Sun?
Even though the Emperor's brilliance can rival the sun itself, he can't accept that all things eventually come to an end. Rumor has it that the god of the sun of Memphis is immortal. Therefore, His Majesty wishes to unravel the secret to immortality, hoping to find methods that will grant him immortality.
In this vast library, there must be a scroll or something that holds the key to harnessing the power of the god of the sun. His Majesty's goal is to conquer distant stars, and we, the immortal army, must find that divine scroll.
Ignorance. Chains bind only the sinners.
Those who betrayed His Majesty shall remain silent forever.
Hey, are you all right?
No. His mental state has irreversibly deteriorated.
I apologize, esteemed Emeons. I wasn't myself.
Sit down and take a break. You don't have to put up a strong front here, because there's no emperor who requires your worship.
I appreciate your kindness, but I don't deserve forgiveness. I made a solemn vow to His Majesty that I would never stop my journey until his realm reached the ends of the world. Yet here I am, empty-handed, a disgrace to His Majesty's glory. I feel ashamed to admit that I've known for a while that my time would come soon. But His Majesty once said he would share his dreams and glory with us. I want to return to His Majesty's throne before drawing my last breath. Please, don't let my journey end here. Thank you for your generosity. Although I can't see your face now, I'll always remember your kindness.
Well, I have nothing to say to a blind loyalist like him. Take good care of him.
Bow before the sun's brilliance! Utterly rebellious.
This place feels familiar.
The device in the center should be able to take us down below. The correct switch is hidden under the tome that glorifies His Majesty.
Ignorance.
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
Pluck the heartstrings.
Gods, if you actually exist, why did you stay silent when His Majesty asked his questions? That shape. It's His Majesty's throne. Thank you for bringing me here. His Majesty is just ahead.
The law shattered.
That's Farhad, a member of the scout squad. Maybe he's found something. Hurry! Bring him before His Majesty.
Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
Why are you looking so exhausted, General Farhad? What happened to you? What did you do to him?
Behave yourselves. If it weren't for these Emeons, I would have died long ago on the nameless land. I'll inform His Majesty of your achievements, Emeon. Soon, you'll see that Farhad always keeps his promises. And His Majesty is a generous and benevolent ruler.
Let us assist you.
Stand back. No need.
I've witnessed the distant and boundless lands with His Majesty when you were just babies. If I need help with even a few steps, how am I supposed to follow His Majesty to the ends of the stars? What is happening? Why can't I move on? I'm so ashamed to request that Your Majesty descend from your throne. Your Majesty, please!
You're in no position to tell me how to punish my soldiers, outsider. Those who have failed me are no different from deserters, and this is what happens to deserters. Pythagoras, are they your companions?
No, Your Majesty. Although their clothes resemble mine, I've never seen them before.
We are not Emaons from this world. We come from the future, 2,500 years from now.
A funny joke. Unfortunately, it comes at an inopportune moment. Those who dare to mock me must be punished.
Please, wait, Your Majesty! The wonders of the Library of Babel surpass the wildest imagination of mortals. Here, it is possible to encounter someone from a past or future era. For the sake of your lives, strangers, if you too are Emians like me, show your proof.
This is a fragment from your crown.
Indeed it is. Where did you get this weathered fragment from?
From 2,500 years in the future. By then, it had become an antique.
Interesting. Let's assume what you said is true. Answer me this. Who rules over Obed 2,500 years from now?
I can't answer your question, because Obed has no need for a ruler that far in the future.
I see. You can't provide me what I desire either. Lead the way forward, Pythagoras. As for these useless freeloaders, get rid of them, my soldiers.
Ari.
Your Majesty, please forgive our rudeness.
You know your manners, but your courtesy comes too late.
It's true that Obed won't need a ruler in the future. Because by that time, Obed will be insignificant compared to your vast empire. We don't need anyone specifically to rule over it. The fragment you just saw is a gift you gave us yourself.
You mean you've seen me 2,500 years later? Do I still rule over my vast empire?
Yeah, of course.
How did I survive until then in the future? Tell me, now!
Gladly, but we want something in return.
Even those who call themselves the mouthpieces of the gods are nothing more than mere mortals after all. Your wish is granted. All the wealth in my treasury and all the provinces in my domain are yours for the taking.
We don't want wealth or fiefdoms. We just want to know what you know about the god of the sun.
How interesting. That's the very same question I've been asking you, Emaons, for years. But why is an Emaon from the future asking me this question instead?
You seek the secrets of the god of the sun because you're eager to know the secret to immortality, right? We discovered its mysteries once. However, over the long years since then, many details of our research have been lost. That's why we're coming back from the future, to get the missing pieces. You've been to Delphi during your expedition, and I believe you've heard the stories about Oedipus that go around there. In the loop made by time, the result and the cause will become one. You'll need to tell us everything you know about the god of the sun, so that we'll be able to get you the full answer. That's the only way we can help you survive the next 2,500 years. In the distant future, you gifted us the token so that we could return here to figure out the truth about immortality.
Nothing but lies. Myths are for ignorant children. Do you think I'm as gullible as a child? I've found ludicrous loopholes in your words. Since the me in the future already knows the secret to immortality, why didn't that me ask you to tell me the secrets directly? Immortal Army! Those who deceive me will pay with their lives.
Of course, you can just kill us, Your Majesty. But at the moment we're killed, the casual loop in the timeline will be severed. If you don't learn the secret to immortality now, you, your empire, and all the feats you will achieve in the future will simply go up in smoke.
Are you threatening me, Emaon?
No. As a scholar, I'm simply telling you what might happen because of your actions. Whether to trust us or kill us on the spot, the choice is up to you. I'm sure you already have an answer in your mind.
Well, indeed. A nasty tone unique to Emaon. Lay down your weapons, for now. Listen well. I sent my people to collect many ancient documents and summon many scholars while I was in Memphis. But the destruction of the Ketaton was so complete that very little information survived. Despite my efforts, I only figured out one piece of information from the ancient records. The language of the gods is a palindrome.
The language of the gods is a palindrome? What does that mean?
Legend has it that Akhenaten deciphered the language of the gods and thus learned how to harness the sun. The language consists of a huge number of palindromic words. While they are written exactly the same forwards and backwards, they cause the god of the sun to perform very different behaviors. That's all I know. I didn't have access to the vocabulary. As soon as I returned to Obed, I shared this discovery with your companions, the Emaons of this era. But unfortunately, it didn't help them with the task I assigned them. Now it's your turn. Tell me, have you figured out the secret to immortality?
Are.
Huh? What are you talking about? The secret to immortality? It does not exist! What are you waiting for, Director? We've got the information. Now it's time to make a run for it.
How dare you? Don't you dare run away! How dare you deceive me!
Your Majesty, please calm down. Your Majesty.
Darius, the great king of Obed, the king of all kings! I shall bestow grace upon the faithful and punish the disloyal! Heed my command, my immortal army! Hunt down those Evians! From this place to the end of the world! From this moment until the end of their lives, or yours!
We have ventured too far, Your Majesty. If we continue, we may not be able to return. The paths ahead, not even the Emians have explored them.
Emions. Always those babbling Emions. Why would I, the king of all kings, need someone else to pioneer my new territories? Wherever I go, it is my domain. And whatever I say, my words shall shine like the sun. From this day on, cease all support of those Emions. We don't need those false mouthpieces of the gods.
But, Your Majesty, what about Pythagoras?
I won't repeat myself.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You are... Wait! Please, spare us! I beg you.
Take away their supplies, spare the strong, and destroy the old and the weak. What is happening? Why do you defy my orders? Have you forgotten what happened when we crossed the Memphis Desert? If we hadn't plundered the caravan, it wouldn't have been us celebrating under the magnificent waterfalls of the Memphis River. Carry on. We have a long path ahead, and we must not stumble here.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Let's station ourselves here today. Looks like we're running low on food. Soldiers, kill my horse. What's the meaning of this? Why the hesitation? Have you forgotten what happened when we attacked Delphi the first time? And that time I slaughtered my horse so that we could cross frigid Mount Medicus? This is no different. Come. I shall share the horse's flesh with all of you once more. My warriors. My warriors? Halt here. We need a break once in a while. I grant you a brief reprieve. These books on the shelves are unlike any I've seen before. No matter. One day I will conquer their lands. Remember what I said, Fahad. I shall share my glory and dreams with you. Armor me, Fahad, my most loyal friend. Let's embark on our odyssey. Our expedition must not stop here. Fahad, if you choose not to accompany me on this quest, it's all right. I permit you to turn back and return home. It is a king's duty to forge ahead. As my subject, your duty is to spread news of my accomplishments throughout the world. Go back, Fahad. Whether in life or in death, you shall forever be showered in my grace. Fahad. One day we'll leave our footprints across the entire expanse of the sky.
Probability fears time.
This is Sarvis's era.
Something seems to be on your mind. That "I've really got something to say" look on your face is pretty rare.
I think I've figured out why we've been entangled with Darius. Now I'm certain that the giant we encountered when we first entered the library, and the one we saw during our second meeting with Sarvis, are one and the same, Seer. It is Darius. This library is alive and has its own wisdom. That's what Elish, the first director of the library, once said. Therefore, visitors should stay quiet, humble, and cautious within the library. It is not recommended to speak, write, or daydream, for words and ideas carry power. The library is an anomaly, after all. It may give incredible responses to obsessive thoughts.
Don't you dare run away! How dare you deceive me!
We deceived a man of extraordinary strength, of willpower. Obsessive ideas may stir up billowing waves in this ocean of thoughts.
So, you're saying that the library distorted Darius, turning him into the giant that has been chasing us around? If that's the case, it explains why he hated our guts so much. After all, we shattered his world with that devastating lie. Hold on a sec. So, we lied to Darius, and after he got distorted by the library, he stayed here for all those thousands of years, just to get revenge against us? According to our time machine, you met the giant before you met me. Thanks to him, our time machine met the future me, and heard the prophecy. And that's how we started this totally messed up journey, right? How ironic.
We went to Darius because we had already met him. Cause and effect become one in the Library of Babel. It's a loop.
Why are you giving me that look?
No, it's nothing. Just don't leave my sight without my permission, Ari.
What are you talking about? That's a weird thing to say. Quit using that tone with me. Shut up! Hey, what's with that look on your face? Stop it. It's making me sick. I'm not going to follow this so-called prophecy. But with the current situation, we have to continue this loop. Remember, the fate of 2 eras rests on our shoulders. Next, if our time machine gets things right, we should be at a point between our 2 encounters with Sarvis. We must inform him about the divine words at this point. Since someone in this era activated a 10, the divine words must exist in this era. If he can find the person who activated a 10, he'll naturally get the command to stop it. If everything goes smoothly, we'll put a stop to a 10. No. The Star of Ephrathah, before it burns everything in this era to ashes. Don't you dare spout any more nonsense like that!
Someone's coming. Those are Japheth soldiers.
Looks like they're in a tough spot, too. Interesting fellow. Interesting fellow.
I never expected someone to come to my rescue. Thank you so much. Wait, you're the Emians who escaped from Lord Sarvis before?
So what if we are? Are you planning to capture us and hand us over to your general?
No, we Japhethians are anything but ungrateful. Anyway, it's good to see you. We've been searching for you. That's not the case, Emian. Lord Sarvis has encountered an extraordinary problem, and he says only Emians can solve it.
As I thought. Then what are we waiting for? Lead the way.
I'm sorry, but when we enter this infinite library again, we got separated from our general. I have no clue where he could be now. The path ahead takes us back to where we came from. Let's head in that direction.
Aren't you coming with us?
As you can see, my squad has been decimated. With all the dangers lurking here, we shouldn't burden you with protecting us. Please, hurry to the General as soon as possible.
Let's go. Interesting fellow.
We're entering the unknown sector.
Finding someone in the unknown sector. This is simply a living nightmare. Let's hope that general didn't go too deep.
The unknown sector has changed, so the rules we know might not apply anymore.
That is the wrong way. This hellhole is truly unpredictable. We need to figure out new rules before finding a way out.
The one surrounded up ahead is Sarvis.
Let's wait until he's worn out, and then we'll have the perfect chance to strike. Hey, why are you giving me that look? All right, fine. We'll rescue him.
Oh, it's you. Thank you for your help, Emeans. I apologize for my rudeness earlier, and I would like to do my best to clear up the misunderstanding I caused.
Boring.
But I'm afraid we don't have time for that now. Allow me to get straight to the point. Do you happen to know how to deactivate the God of the Sun?
Did someone activate that sphere?
I'm afraid so. According to our plan, we delivered it to the Philistine Sea to get it loaded on a ship and then transfer it to Javriel. However, it passed through one of our vassal states on its way back. To my astonishment, the ruler there, Herod, had the audacity to lay his finger on it. It was only afterward that we learned that quite a few servants in Herod's kingdom had been exiled from Memphis, and some of them had even served as priests in Memphis. They knew a number of secrets that had been passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. Not even Lord Thurinus or Emperor Darius had learned about them when they conquered Memphis. Those Memphians stirred up Herod's greed, making him believe that he could awaken the god of the sun like the ancient pharaoh Akhenaten did, and thus be elevated to the status of a god.
How ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Truth is, the Memphian slaves hate him for his brutality and wanted to use this chance to take revenge. They didn't think about the catastrophic consequences it would bring. Unfortunately, Herod killed all those slaves once he obtained the divine words, so nobody else could ascend to the divine throne like him. By the time we arrived, the copper sphere was already levitating and burning over Herod's capital city, Ephrathah. We apprehended Herod before the city was razed to the ground. However, he only knows how to activate the sphere, and he didn't ask for the command to deactivate it. Now, with the death of the last Memphian priests, the secrets are lost forever. If that copper sphere continues to burn, one day the Philistine Sea will dry up, and even Javriel, the Eternal City, will end up in flames. Fortunately, I had met you in the Library of Babel. I remembered you had mentioned that the copper sphere could be deactivated. So, we rushed back here to seek your help. Such is the situation. If you know how to stop this world from ending up in flames, I'm willing to offer whatever I can in return.
Hey, hold on! You've told him already?
The language of the gods is a palindrome. I understand. That'll do. Write the palindrome words in both directions, and the quill will go back to where it started. In other words, the command to activate the sphere is also the command to deactivate it. We just need to repeat the same word Herod used, and it will revert to its previous state. I can't believe this answer is so straightforward. I must return to Ephrathah immediately. But the thing is, we've lost a significant number of soldiers since entering the Library of Babel. I'm sorry, Hemayon, but I need your assistance once again. Could you escort me out of here?
Chains bind only the sinners. Bow before the sun's brilliance. Utterly rebellious. The law shattered.
Like the heartstrings. A spark of inspiration.
Interesting fellow. Interesting fellow.
Our strength isn't enough to break through this gate.
This gate is heavy. Please stand back.
Thank goodness we didn't fight him earlier.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you because of the noise. What did you say?
Oh, it's nothing.
Interesting fellow.
Getting a bit boring.
I think I've been here before. The path on the right leads back to where I came from.
Jeez, not another one of those annoying stone gates.
Don't worry. My strength should be enough to break through it. However, I've just exerted a lot of energy. Give me a moment to catch my breath.
Fine. Take a step back, Seer.
They started following us before I even noticed. What a bunch of eyesores.
Interesting fellow. Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble.
The door's been breached. Let's follow him and not waste time dealing with those creatures.
Finally. Ahead is the sector I entered from. One must exit from where they entered. Such is the wise words from the Emeons who guided me here. Thank you for escorting me here.
Hey, Mr. General. Although we didn't request payment, it's okay to ask for a favor, right?
Of course. Just let me know whatever you want.
Well, when you go back and see Herod again, please make a copy of the divine words he tells you and give it to us.
Sure thing. That's a simple task. Once I resolve the troubles in Ephrathah, I'll come back and deliver the letter for you. Thank you for your generosity. I'll never forget it.
Please rest assured, Your Highness. Sarvis is one of the few generals who possesses both wisdom and bravery. He will be safe.
But he's been inside all night. I know it's prudent for us to stay out here, but you've witnessed the enigmatic library yourself, as well as its labyrinth plucked from myths. Will Sarvis return safe and sound this time?
Your Highness, High Priest.
Sarvis, you're back!
Yes, and I bring good tidings. I found the peculiar Emeon I mentioned last time, and they instructed me how to deactivate the God of the Sun.
Excellent. This library truly holds the answers to all questions in the world. High Priest Morari, do you still have a copy of the treaty with the Arsacid Empire?
I can have the scribe immediately draft a new one, Your Highness. What do you mean, Your Highness?
I will sign it. Tell our soldiers that we are no longer at war with Obed. Let's go back. Once we resolve the issue in Ephrathah, we will make our way back home.
May I ask the reason behind your change of heart, Your Highness?
Look at that burning star. If there's anything like divine revelation in the world, it probably looks like that. Wouldn't you agree? No. Japheth is not ready to confront such power. My father has been invincible throughout his life. He forged his great empire in his 30s. I heard that he was frustrated at the thought of spending the remainder of his days governing rather than conquering. However, I think governing is far more challenging than conquering. I'm always worried that if Japheth's armies keep crossing new frontiers, sooner or later, they'll meet an impenetrable presence. Father has never tasted defeat, and neither has Japheth. Father is aged, and Japheth has long grown accustomed to the countless triumphs he has achieved. If, one day, Japheth fails to sustain its momentum of conquest, if, one day, the tip of Japheth's spear finally shatters against a towering wall never before encountered, how do you think the people of Japheth would feel in such a moment? Pride renders one fragile, and when it breaks, it shatters the heart into pieces. Now, seeing that newborn star, I think we've reached a towering wall that casts its shadow over Japheth. Undoubtedly, there are forces in this world that surpass the limits of human imagination. This library, capable of harnessing even the power of that star, lies far beyond our dominion. We are not yet prepared to venture into the realm of gods.
I concur, Your Highness. It is time to head back. Since Emian has guarded his power for so long, let it be. There must be reasons why this tower has stood undisturbed for thousands of years. Until we understand those reasons, we must not disturb the balance. No. We shouldn't even touch it. It'd be best if all of us stayed away from it, neither to inquire nor to disturb it, lest it bring a catastrophe down upon us. While my words may appear disrespectful, His Majesty's order to retrieve the God of the Sun and the situation we are facing serve as compelling evidence.
I agree with your decision to retreat, Your Highness. However, if we ignore the blaze of the star and the impending destruction it brings, it is beautiful, like a real celestial body. Now we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that someone, or some being, crafted it. How extraordinary is it to craft a star? If I had the chance, I would love to see the hands that forged the star. Even if I am unable to witness it, I hope that my descendants will be blessed with this fortune.
Time to go. We have no time for sentimentality. Leave the recording of history to poets and scholars. As for us, let us restore the sky with its true sun.
Now this farce can finally come to an end. Once we return to the time sector where we met Sarvis for the second time, we'll learn the divine words to stop a 10. What are you waiting for, Time Machine? Activate your magical time travel ability, all right? There's no point in thinking about that now.
This world has seen its fair share of ancient mysteries that have been passed down to the present, only to be used by people with ill intentions. Even if someone is trying to activate a 10,
Besides us, the only ones who know the secrets of anomalies and might intend to use them are Nemesis. Ere, you said you ran into them during your retrieval of Arten, right?
Exactly. That's why I was wary of Seer.
All deeds have consequences. All debts must be paid.
That's their motto. How can I give you a brief explanation? To put it simply, here's the perfect example. Do you think something like a 10 should be known to the world? These artifacts possess the power of easily obliterating an entire civilization. You've witnessed the destruction of Akedaton and the war between Japheth and Obed. It merely revealed a fraction of its existence, and that was enough to change the course of the world. Countless people were frantically seeking it, whether it was for immortality, overthrowing another dynasty, or simply catching a glimpse of its eternal glory. Even in this era, where human intelligence supposedly reigns supreme, we no longer worship the god of the sun. Do you think a nuclear fusion reactor should be revealed to the people of this era? Will it bring about an energy revolution, or just another war? Humans of every era believe their intelligence to be superior, yet they fall prey to the same mistakes time and time again. The power of the unknown is a sweet poison. Now you're well aware of that, right? That's why we've decided to hide its existence from the world.
To safeguard them from any intrusion or exploitation. Let it fade away, until its very existence falls into oblivion. That's the philosophy of us Emaon, and the philosophy of CAVE. Emaon is merely the secret society watching over Obed. There are other organizations that share our ideals. For example, Florentine in Japheth, Weisha in Xi'an, and Delphic Oracle in Delphi. Well, we don't have time to delve into all this now. Once we leave here, you'll be formally introduced to the rest of the Alliance as the new director of Emaon, and you'll learn who they are for yourself.
Speaking of that, we need to mention another group of people. Not everyone shares the same attitude on such matters. There's another group. Well, they're not all a bunch of bad guys, but their philosophy differs from ours.
While some people want to stow away unknown power, others want to exploit it. Nemesis belongs to the latter. They see it as something that can propel human civilization forward by hundreds of years, if thoroughly studied, and they see no reason to set it aside instead of utilizing it. As for how such actions may affect a society, they don't care at all. Your summaries are on point. I'm impressed. But have you forgotten that you're part of our crew now?
With the Library of Babel open, we Emaon have no means of stopping outsiders from invading the tower. However, if they were really to do that, they would just end up lost in an infinite ocean of information. If only the future version of you had provided us with more information.
Oh, what? Blaming me again?
No, I have no intention of blaming you. You're smarter and more cautious than anyone else. It wasn't your style to deliver such an ambiguous message.
You're giving me too much credit. Indeed. The journey with you is full of surprises at every turn. Well, this trip is definitely not boring. Quit lazing around. Let's get moving. Don't you ever wonder how two groups of the same people can show up at the same time?
I've witnessed too many miracles here, and I realize what's happening here is beyond my comprehension. Nonetheless, it's a pleasure to see you again. I'm certain you're the Emaons who once helped us. As promised, I've brought you a copy of the Divine Words. Please allow me to express my gratitude once again for your generosity back then. I understand that you Emaons have your own principles of conduct and you don't want your deeds to be publicized. But I promise you, even if the people of Japheth don't know what they've been saved from, I'll never forget your heroic deed. I'll never forget your noble character and selflessness. If you ever find yourself in trouble in the future, I'll assist you in any way I can. I, Sarvis, swear by my domain, Bellefontaine, the City of Blossoms. I, my family, and my descendants, we will always remember this oath. From now to eternity.
He's a pretty honorable man.
Bellefontaine. Sarvis. So, he is the first leader of Florentine. Sarvis Florentine.
I see. Our initial connection with Florentine was actually because of you. Sometimes I wonder where you've been all these years. You don't even know about the Florentine Bank, which basically controls half of the continent's economy?
Now's not the perfect time to explain everything about Florentine. Harry, show me the parchment that Sarvis just gave you.
What's the rush? Worried about losing it? I've already written it down anyway. Zero. You know what? I'm really grateful that you're the one who's been with me on this journey. And you too, the candid seer. Sometimes to the point of being foolish. I'm glad I have you as my partners. That's why my plan went so smoothly.